YouTube, welcome back to another live stream with your boy Mo Sends. We're gonna be watching today how long did the dinosaurs actually survive on this planet after the asteroid hit. So let's jump into this reaction. I need to learn more about the dinosaurs because one day I'm gonna have a pet dinosaur. Mark my words, I want a pet dinosaur. I will go into a science lab, stick a needle in a fucking chicken and turn that bitch into a dinosaur and have him in my backyard as a pet. I'm being so for real, Chad. I want a pet dinosaur. Imagine like a fucking like T-Rex chicken like crawling around that. That should be so tough. Y'all can't lie. Y'all can't lie. Let's go.
Dinosaurs experienced just about the worst day possible on Earth when a giant asteroid the size of Mount Everest slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula at speeds 28 times greater than that of an AK-47 bullet.
Wait, check. Can you guys hear me? And can you guys see everything? Like everything's good? Everything's okay? Yeah, it's all good. Okay, I'm going back. I'm going back just a couple. All right, let's get it.
On Earth, when a giant asteroid the size of Mount Everest slammed into the Yucatan Peninsula.
Shit, the size of Mount Everest? Yo, how tall is Mount Everest? Hold on. My bad for getting sidetracked. Hold up. Mount Everest max. No fucking way. The size of Mount Everest? Max height, bro. 29,000 feet asteroid hit the fucking planet to erase the dinosaurs? You're bugging. Yo, I would have. And is that shit bigger than Mexico?
Peninsula at speeds 28 times greater than that of an AK-47 bullet. Within an instant, the energy equivalent to 10 billion Hiroshimas was
What's Hiroshima? What's Hiroshima? Let me get this. Let's get caught up. We gotta get caught up with education here. I failed education. What's Hiroshima? That's like a bomb, right? Hiroshima's like a bomb or something, right? Am I correct? Am I correct, chat?
Unleashed upon the world, bringing about what many consider to have been the most violent and abrupt extinction event of all time. This was the KT extinction event. KT. Today, paleontologists.
Hiroshima was a nuke dropped on Japan. So I was right. The bomb. I was right. Don't say I'm stupid, chat. Don't say I'm stupid. I'm right. Okay, I'm right.
Just believe that about 75% or.
Holy fuck! It's like looking at trading charts. What the fuck's going on here? Wait, what is this about? Okay, let's see. So we got the Cambrian, the Adivilian, Samilian, Devilian. Yeah,
more of all species on Earth at the time vanished.
Jurassic, okay. I'm pretty sure Jurassic was like the main shit, right? Jurassic was like the main, like, you get what I mean? Like, yeah.
With nearly no creature above 25 kilos or 55 pounds surviving. Among the many fallen, the most iconic were by far the non-avian dinosaurs, who up until that point had ruled the lands for roughly What
the fuck's going on here? What? Why is the T-Rex biting his horn? What the fuck is going on?
Had ruled the lands for roughly 165 million years. The out-of-nowhereness of the dinosaurs' extinction, coupled with how fast it happened, has led to many referring to the day of impact.
So wait, let me get something straight. When the dinosaurs died, I mean, of course, they're fossils, like the soil, like, yes, I get all that. But this big-ass fucking dinosaur just sat here for years? You're telling me? This big-ass dinosaur dead-ass just sat here for years. Because you gotta think about how long it takes to decompose a dinosaur's body. It ain't like a human or like a rat's body. Like, dude, that thing had at least been sitting there for at least like 2-3 years before it decomposed. Like,
the day the dinosaurs died. And there are even documentaries with such names.
Imagine being able to build an app with these fucking ads, dude. Don't give me some bullshit ads. Every single time I react to things, there's always ads. Pisses me off.
Did the dinosaurs really die all at once on the same day? After all, they could be found on every continent.
So wait, you're telling me every single continent back then had dinosaurs? Because Antarctica's not even frozen here. So how does that make sense? How did this big ass thing fit on Antarctica? This thing's bigger than Antarctica. Look at this. This thing's taking up half of Russia right here. And this one takes up all of America. Some shit ain't right. Cause dude, look how big this dinosaur was. This thing took up 2 states, chat. This dinosaur deadass took up 2 states. Look at that.
Late Cretaceous and were fairly diverse, with researchers estimating that there were over 1,000 species roaming around when the asteroid touched down. Many of these dinosaurs were armored, others giant, and some were even below the weight threshold. So it seems a bit hard to believe that.
Fuck that. That's a fucking. Look at that bird.
Others giant, and some were even.
I would not want to be face to face with this, chat. I would not want to be face to face with that. Let me move myself so you guys can see that. Look at that. Imagine being face to face with this big ass bird. Fuck that.
Below the weight threshold. So it seems a bit hard to believe that they just vanished in an instant. And for the most part, paleontologists do think that the.
Why is that T-Rex so fat? Is that normal? Chat, were T-Rex actually this fat? This ain't right? Would you rather crack a dinosaur or go bald? What type of fucking question is that? I'm cracking the fuck out of a dinosaur. The fuck type of question is that? If I had to either go, I'm not going bald. I'd rather crack a dinosaur. This dinosaur to be exact, right here. This big ass T-Rex. What type of question is fucking that? What do you mean would I rather crack a dinosaur and go, come on.
Demise of non-avian dinosaurs was not instantaneous, meaning that technically, we had dinosaurs during the Cenozoic. However, studies still support the idea that the majority of dinosaurs did in fact perish within the first 24 hours, due to the multiple widespread effects of the asteroid. Extreme heat, forest fires, blast waves.
There was just one asteroid, or was there multiple? Like, did it come in rapid fire, or just came in as one big? Because the video says it came in as one big, but I've heard from other things it came in as like just like missiles type shit. Some shit.
Earthquakes and tsunamis were all very real threats after all, especially for those in the Western Hemisphere, with many as far away as 1,500 miles or 2,400 kilometers dying within virtual minutes. Across the globe, some were shielded from these immediate effects, but what even they could not escape was the massive amounts of super hot material that have been thrown up into the atmosphere and space, with possibly as much.
Wait, so how does an asteroid, like, okay, so it says in the video that the asteroid is the same size as Mount Everest, and you guys know Mount Everest is what, 29,000 feet it said? How does that get built in space if it's always floating? You get what I mean, right, chat? How does the asteroid get built in space if it's always floating? How does that make sense? Because if it's always floating, how is, like, what, other rocks are, like, you get what I'm trying to say? Like, other rocks are hitting it and shit? How does that work?
25 trillion tons having been ejected. This material was for a while several times hotter than even the surface of the sun. So when a good chunk of it came raining back down, it heated up the atmosphere to oven-like temperatures, cooking anything out in the open from the inside out, and starting fires in roughly 70% of all forests on Earth. This alone left only a few animals
back then. Yo, chat, the Earth was fucking
standing,
cooked back then.
But in certain areas that were more protected, like marshes, dense humid forests, and high latitudes, pockets of dinosaurs would have remained standing. It's however worth mentioning that these survivors were likely not the big boys, but rather small species and maybe juveniles. Things, however, were not over for them yet, because all the fires and ejections.
Chad, if you guys had a dinosaur, would you guys want like a T-Rex, or would you guys want more like a calm dinosaur? What would you guys want? I would want a T-Rex, but like I would not be mad if this shit was sleeping with me at night in bed. Oh, yo, not like that. Fuck. Not like that at all. I mean, like, if you had you have a pet dog and the dog sleeps with you at night, like, fuck, I messed up.
Juveniles.
Never mind, yo.
Things, however, were not over for them yet.
No.
Because all the fires and ejecta both led to untold amounts of dust, soot, and other particles coating the skies and blocking out the sun, leading to sharp decreases in global temperature, where the average may have dropped as much as 36 degrees Fahrenheit or 20 degrees Celsius. On top of this, the blocking of the sun led to perpetual darkness, which brought its own unpleasant issues. It's thought that this apocalyptic winter was
Why are dinosaurs so ugly? What the fuck is what? Who decided to paint this dinosaur this color? What was going on back then? Who the hell was walking on with a paintbrush doing half unfinished jobs? Why is this dinosaur half orange, half black? They didn't even finish. Look at this. They didn't even finish painting his scales. Bro, who the fuck was
final
going around
nail in the
painting
coffin for the non-avian dinosaurs. But it's also where things get a bit gray, because no one really knows how long it took for this period to kill the survivors, or if some even survived this fallout, yet were impacted enough to where they couldn't ever recover. A good chunk of researchers believe that at the very least, survivors hung on for a few weeks, months, or possibly years, with carnivores likely sticking around the longest, as at the start there would have been a plethora of carcasses to choose from, while herbivores on the other hand were pretty much doomed from the get-go, with most of their food having been burnt in the forest fires. Some of the luckier ones may have stumbled upon preserved pockets
Is that shit? Is that shit, chat? Or am I tripping?
of vegetation, but that did not last long either.
I was about to say,
And then once the herbivores dropped, the carnivores soon followed, with one of the most recent studies putting an exact expiration date on dinosaurs of 15 years after D-Day. The study suggested that all the
So Chad, do you guys think dinosaurs are still on this planet right now? Like secretly that we don't know? Like do you think there's at least one dinosaur right now on this earth secretly that we don't know about? There has to be. There's no way that every single dinosaur died. There has to be one that's still living. You guys think? Or do you think they're just all wiped out type shit? There has to be something.
Another material.
Isn't a crocodile a dinosaur? I'm pretty sure a crocodile is a dinosaur, so there is still one actually, technically.
The air would have sustained a 15-year nightmare, where temperatures were low and photosynthesis was almost entirely blocked, with it being completely halted for at least 1 year. Within this time frame, it's thought that the non-avian dinosaurs, who were already few and far between, slowly dropped like flies, either freezing or starving to death. And there are multiple other studies that paint similar time spans, typically all falling within 100 years. However, others have pushed back on these shorter times.
But look at that. Imagine you're just flying in the sky
within 100 years.
And then you just have a meteor shower like this. Imagine you're one of these birds, right? You're just casually flying for a day. Like let's say you're just casually flying from America to Mexico, right? And all of a sudden you have fucking meteor strikes coming from everywhere. Bro, you gotta like dodge and weave.
Others have pushed back on these shorter times, preferring the idea that the end was not quick, but rather strung out over millenniums, with small populations surviving well into the early Danian stage, and signifying that entire generations of dinosaurs continued to persist and arise. Many of these longer estimates fall within
damn, that's a fat T-Rex! Woo! Got a big boy on her hands. Yo, if I ever saw that bitch in the wild, I'm gone. I'm running faster than Usain Bolt. I'm running faster than anyone else on this fucking planet. If I saw this big ass dinosaur right in front of me, why is his feet so damn big but his hands are small as shit? That ain't right. And why the fuck is his head so fat? God damn, that motherfucker fat.
1,000 years.
Woo!
Yet some even approach the tens of thousands of years, as demonstrated by one 2013 study, which indicated that it took the collision event about 33,000 years to kill off every single non-avian dinosaur. The idea here was that a select few unknown species likely endured the worst of the asteroid, and even saw the world in some senses stabilize. During this time, mammals would have slightly increased in size, insects would have had a population boost, and large turtles plus crocodilians may have been the biggest.
Crocodiles, I was right! Who said I wasn't smart? Who said I wasn't smart? I was right. Crocodiles are dinosaurs.
Animals around, making it one strange world for what dinosaurs were used to. And the paleontologists behind the study actually think it was these changes that ultimately led to their tragically slow ending, with mammals and non-dinosaur reptiles eventually outcompeting what remained of the previous rulers. And while the end result with them being gone,
when did normal animals come on this earth then? You get what I mean? When did like the normal animals, like the lions and like the hippos, like when did they start coming on this earth? Because once these animals died, how did those animals become what's called? And how does like this all even start? Like how the fuck? Okay. Oh crap. How does there just randomly a day where you know what? Someone just says fuck it, there's gonna be dinosaurs, and all of a sudden it's dinosaurs. It's like who came first, the chicken or the egg type vibe. You get what I mean? Like, dude, how? Wait, what? Who did come first, the chicken or the egg? Because the egg hatched, but then who made that egg? But then who made that chicken? What the? Wait, chat, who came first, the chicken or the egg? Wait, if there's a chicken, laid an egg, but then who made the chicken that just laid that egg? Yeah, so I made it right.
Not change.
So I made it right.
It would still be impressive if they had survived for an additional 33,000 years, which based on other calculations may have amounted to over 1,000 generations of dinosaurs, seeing the Cenozoic. Perhaps surprisingly, 33,000 years isn't even the longest estimate, with a few researchers having an even more optimistic hypothesis, suspecting that some dinosaurs survived.
I get the video, but the freaking vocab words are way too high. Hypothesis. What the fuck does hypothesis mean? Yeah, see, I'm not the only one. The chicken and the egg is mad confusing. Cause if there's an egg, who made that egg? But then who made that chicken had that egg? And how does it keep going? I don't know.
An extreme amount of time, possibly up to 1 million years. And interestingly enough, one of the strongest cases for such a long survival time comes from an area not so far from the epicenter, in Colorado and New Mexico. Specifically, a team of paleontologists discovered the remains of hatters.
Hold up! You can go fossil diving?
Specifically,
chat. Say I won't for a YouTube video go fossil hunting. If Mo Sends ever catches, if Mo Sends ever digs up a dinosaur fossil, the clip, the video, the moments, everything about that would be very special. Chat, should I do that for a video in the future when I get a budget? Say I won't. I will deadass go out my way to hang out with these people to go dinosaur fossil hunting. To find dinosaurs. Fossils. And if I find a fossil, that bitch is going right there on the wall. Right there on the wall. I'm having that bitch in a case, in a frame where no one can get it. Except for me. Because I found that fucking dinosaur. I ain't giving it to no museum. I ain't giving it to no one. I'm gonna go fossil diving one day.
A team of paleontologists discovered the remains of hadrosaurs, tyrannosaurs, ankylosaurs, and even sauropods within a remote part of San Juan Basin that were dated to the Paleocene epoch, about 500,000 years after the initial impact. Of course, this brought up a bunch of questions about not only how did they survive so long, but why of all places did they only seem to survive in southern US, which is relatively close to the crater. Well, according to the lead paleontologist, there are 3 possible explanations. The first one is that the area they were in was heavily sheltered from the blast, perhaps being akin to a canyon.
Wow. Is that a Grand Canyon? That is insane if it is. Holy cow, that's beautiful. That is sick. Imagine living at the bottom of the Grand Canyon. The only thing that would suck though is a huge rainstorm. Your house is gone.
For ample protection from the worst effects. The second, more likely scenario is that the diverse group of survivors wasn't originally from the States, but rather from up north like Alberta, Canada, where the asteroid's effects were comparably less severe. Then, following the drop in temperature...
Wait, if the asteroid landed in Mexico, how the fuck did it affect Chinese dinosaurs? That makes sense, right? If the asteroid landed in Mexico, how did it affect the Chinese and Indian dinosaurs? That makes no sense. Because it hit thousands of miles away. I get the asteroid was big, but when it landed, that would affect the Mexican dinosaurs, not the Chinese and Indian ones. I get maybe the impact, not like the impact, but I get like maybe the radiation shit, but like, that doesn't make sense, because, yeah, that don't make sense. Because
and decrease in resources, they were eventually forced to venture south, where presumably they stumbled upon a small area that could still sustain life. The final idea proposed was that no juvenile or mature individual survived the extinction, as they were simply too large, but instead their eggs that were protected by nests and were small escaped obliteration and then hatched once the most immediate effects had passed. And then, with a lot of luck, they were able to re-establish themselves for 500,000 years.
Look what I just saw! Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm a fucking dinosaur, bitch. That's deadass one on my bucket list, to see a fucking T-Rex scream. I want to see a T-Rex fucking scream. I just want to see T-Rex go so bad. That thing is
if accurate,
so loud.
This means that these dinosaurs saw the Earth fully recover from the asteroid in most ways, and they might have actually ran into some new animals that emerged from that time, including freshwater eels, Dicacus, Polydilopomorphia, Mesonychia, and Pantodonta, to name a few.
But what are these animal names? Who came up with these names? How the frick do you pronounce this? Chat, who comes up with these animal names? Polydismiclimorpher. Like, you think this animal knows its name? Like, come on, this animal's not pronouncing all this. This shit does not know its name. Polydismiclimorpher. Come on. Look at the next
Mesonychia.
Mesonychia. God damn, this motherfucker's ugly too. You think this ugly ass animal knows its own name, Mr. Fleeklia? Come on.
and Pantodonta, to name a few. Of course, though, to no surprise, these finds have been met with a lot of criticism by the paleontology community overall, with the biggest pushback being that these dinosaurs were not from the Paleocene, and that their fossils had simply eroded at some point and were redeposited into younger grounds, thus giving the illusion that they hadn't died with the rest of their kind. The researchers who made the original find have since come forward and defended their claims, saying that the bones could not have been moved around since many of them remained together, with the most prominent example coming from a single hadrosaur, who had
Wait, why did dinosaurs low-key like fucking run deep as hell?
Since many of them remained together, with the most prominent
Mo Sends turns into a T-Rex, clipped by J. Rich Trays. Fuck you, James. Fuck you. I'm gonna fucking post that shit later. Bro, look how deep the dinosaurs used to run. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Probably like 23, 24. Look at how deep these motherfuckers used to run.
Example coming from a single hadrosaur, who had 34 of its bones arranged in perfect order.
What the hell? Hold up. Give me a second.
Coming from a single hadrosaur, who had 34.
What the frick type of bone is that? And how did his neck what the fuck? Dude, dinosaurs gotta be some of the weirdest animals, guys. How does this work? How did this connect to his neck? And how did his neck have a bone? But then what about this? Chad, this leg doesn't even have a bone. This makes no sense. Look at this. He has one singular bone here. 2 bones here. No bones here. And then not even a bone in his leg. So how is his leg moving if he doesn't have a bone in it? Look at this arm. How can this arm function without a bone?
4 of its bones arranged in perfect order. Nevertheless, this controversial discovery is mainly considered invalid today. Though there are those who still hold on to the idea that dinosaurs stuck around for much longer than we usually give them credit, including the larger ones, like giant theropods. While very speculative, it has led to some interesting questions on how larger creatures would have gotten by in a post-Mesozoic world. Would they have been restricted to just hunting other survivors, unable to capture more agile mammals? Or did they themselves experience changes, perhaps rapidly decreasing in size due to limited resources?
I did not mean to pause on that. I did not mean to pause on that. I meant to pause on this. How does this go down? How does a 1v1 brawl like this go down? How does this make sense? This is not even a fair fight. This freaking big ass dinosaur compared to this little ass thing makes no sense.
Experience changes, perhaps rapidly decreasing in size due to limited resources, as seen in the case with dwarfism experienced by animals on smaller islands. Ultimately though, no one is certain on how long our favorite extinct animals lasted, but it's nice to think that they stuck around for a bit. For now though, the youngest dinosaur accepted by science remains a Triceratops specimen who is thought to have died right around the time of the impact, perhaps even succumbing, like most, to the blast itself. The conversation on dinosaur survival has also led many to wonder if
that was the first dinosaur to go down. That's what it's basically saying. Out of all the dinosaurs, this one was the first to go down. Is that true? Chat.
was thought to have died right around the time of the impact, perhaps even succumbing, like most, to the blast itself. The conversation on dinosaur survival has also led many to wonder if other Mesozoic icons persisted as well, such as the pterosaurs or mosasaurs. Currently, no one has a good idea, but there is a more obscure group of animals from those times, the ammonoids, that are thought to have possibly lived about 1 million years after the Cretaceous.
What the frick is that? An amylonosis. That bit ugly as fuck.
That are thought to have possibly lived about 1 million years after the Cretaceous. This claim, like the San Juan Basin one, is quite controversial. Yet for the most part, it has garnered more support. And we can only hope that more finds in the future will give more clarity on the fates of the dinosaurs.
Now I'm educated about the dinosaurs. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was a banger.